So, March is Brain Injury Awareness Month, and I thought maybe I'd take a few moments to share with you my story. As many of you know, I am a brain injury survivor. My story goes all the way back to 2007. I was out jogging around City Park in Denver, crossing the street when I got run over by a car. The car was going 45 miles an hour. I totaled the car, and they actually had to resuscitate me at the scene. They took me to Denver Health. Everybody thought I was going to die. Denver Health saved my life. And those doctors at Denver Health, if you are going through something like this, that's the place to go. So I spent 2 weeks in Denver Health and then spent about 2 months at Craig Hospital. And Craig Hospital is one of, if not the best places you can possibly go if you have a brain injury. And I really do attribute where I am today to what happened at Craig Hospital. Now, one of the blessings that happens in something like this is a lot of people they call it post-traumatic amnesia. It's just a fancy way of saying you don't remember much. Well, I actually don't remember a month of my life. So I don't remember getting hit by the car. I don't remember anything about being at Denver Health. And I start to remember things when I'm at Craig Hospital. And the crazy thing about brain injuries too is your brain kind of plays a lot of tricks on you in that you think you're fine. I remember being in Craig Hospital around a bunch of people that are all, badly brain injured, thinking, what am I doing here? I'm fine. I'm ready to go back and practice law. Now, the same time I'm thinking that to myself, I thought my brother was on the PGA golf tour. Like legit, he's on tour. How's he doing? Did he win? And I didn't recognize my fiance. But I was ready to go back and practice law. So spent about 2 months there and then finally was released. And I had broken my leg and my hip. So I had a lot of orthopedic injuries. And I remember it was maybe a few months later, about 6 months later, I thought, okay, I'm ready to try to go back to work. I'm ready to get back to work. And I can remember reading a legal case, like, something I used to done a million times before. And it was almost like I was trying to read Greek. It just didn't make any sense. I couldn't process what was going on. And I started to get a better appreciation of some of the limitations that I had to deal with and work through. And there's another thing that I wanted to share with you all, because I think it's important. We see all these stories about hit and run accidents on the news all the time. And the person that hit me stopped. And I'm sure it was very, very traumatic, experience. He, I think, was with his girlfriend or wife. You can imagine hitting somebody and smashing the car. Horrific experience for them too. And he stopped. And it was about 2 months after my accident, maybe 3 months. I was sitting at home recovering, and I get a knock at the door. And I go, and it was the person that hit me. And he actually gave me a gift. And he gave me this piece of pottery that I still have to this day. And it really was one of the most meaningful things that could be done. And it just goes to show you how important it is, how hard it is for people when somebody hit and runs and they flee and they don't even say sorry. They don't say anything like that. In my case, I was very lucky that this person was moved to such a level to come and do that. And I'll tell you one other thing. I actually wrote him a letter, and I can't remember if I wrote him this letter before or after he came by my house. But I wrote him a letter and I said, hey, I just want you to know that I'm going to be okay. I'm alive. I'm going to survive this, and it's okay. I don't hold any ill feelings against you in any way. And that's what I felt, and I still feel that way, because we all make mistakes and we all, look away for a moment. And I also always believed that I would recover fully. So I learned a lot about sort of forgiveness and accepting the hands that were dealt at times. And there's another thing that I think was pretty critical in my recovery, and it's that I always had hope. I always knew in my mind that I would get better and it would be okay. And I really do believe that that goes a long way. I think hope can be such a powerful tool in treatment. And just like despair can sometimes be so dangerous. And the other thing that I learned, and it's so easy for people to label all brain injuries the same, or, that I'm diminishing what other people are going through. Absolutely not. Because what I know to my core is that every brain injury is different. And some people recover and some don't. And some recover fully and some recover some. And other people always have to deal with a different version of themselves. And I am a different version of myself than I was the day that I got run over by that car. I'm a much more different person. I can remember sitting in Craig Hospital when all I had was time on my hands. And Craig Hospital is an intentionally, there's no stimuli, so there's no TVs, no noise, so I had a lot of time on my hands. And I just sit there I can remember sitting there thinking, man, I just want to go sit on a patio and have a glass of wine. I just want to sit in the sun. And actually, one of the best things about Craig Hospital is they actually have this really cool garden. And my favorite time of day when I was at Craig is when people would come and they wheel me in my wheelchair out to the garden and just to sit there. And they had a water feature so you could hear the water. And so what I took from all of this and remind myself every day that it's the little things. It's always the little things. Sitting on a patio, hugging your kids, going to a baseball game. So that's my story. I can say that it took me at least about 1.5 years or 2 years before I had was close to fully recovered, in the cognitive ability to represent people. And I can also say that honestly, I think I'm a better lawyer today because of what I went through, not just because of my ability to connect with people that are going through very difficult things, but slow down, simplify. So that's my story for Brain Injury Awareness Month. I hope that it gives hope to those that are going through this extremely difficult time. One other, point that I would say is give yourself a lot of grace. I didn't give myself enough grace. I was too hard on myself that I wasn't able to do things or get things, self-doubt. It's so hard for those people that go through it. And I just think you give yourself a lot of grace and a lot of gratitude and you move forward. So thanks for listening. I hope this helps some of you out there. And here's to Brain Injury Awareness Month. Thank you, everyone.